Jury deliberations began today in the trial of Daniel Penny. The Marine veteran was seen leaving court as the jury just wrapped up a few hours ago. Penny is charged in the chokehold death of Jordan Neely on board the subway last year. He has pleaded not guilty. Alice Gaynor has been inside the courtroom since jury selection, and she joins us now with an update. Alice.
The jury got the case early this afternoon. They were excused around 1:12 to go start deliberating. They either did that while they were eating lunch or they waited until they were done eating lunch. So we know they deliberated for at least a few hours. At one point, they sent a note asking the judge to reread some of his instructions to them. The prosecution wrapped its closing argument Tuesday morning, arguing Jordan Neely was alive before being placed in a chokehold. Then they say he goes unresponsive, never revives, and dies. Common sense tells you he died as a result of that chokehold. Attacking the defense's expert witness who believes Neely died from a combination of the restraint, sickle cell crisis, synthetic marijuana, and schizophrenia. They accuse that doctor of having a financial interest in coming up with an alternative cause of death. The fact that Mr. Neely didn't revive and died must mean the defendant was applying sufficient pressure to kill him. Daniel Penny told detectives in a voluntary station house interview he did not apply pressure. The judge told the jury it's up to you to decide what the facts are. The two charges are manslaughter in the second degree and criminally negligent homicide. The prosecution must prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. Jurors must consider whether Penny was justified. Was he using physical or deadly force? A person can use physical force when they reasonably believe it's necessary to defend themselves or someone else from what they believe to be an imminent use of physical force. With deadly physical force, the person may use it when they reasonably believe it's necessary to defend themselves or someone else, believing imminent deadly physical force is about to be used. For manslaughter in the second degree, prosecutors are required to prove the defendant caused the death of Neely, that the death was reasonably foreseeable, that he did so recklessly and was not justified. If they find him guilty, they do not move on to count 2. If they find him not guilty because the people did not prove he was not justified, then they must find him not guilty of count 2. But if they find Penny not guilty for some reason other than lack of justification, then they move on to count 2, which is criminally negligent homicide. Prosecutors need to prove he caused the death of Neely and did so with criminal negligence and was not justified. This case doesn't normally sit on Wednesdays, Christine, but end of day, the jury sent a note asking to resume deliberations tomorrow.
Alice, you described to us yesterday that the courtroom was packed for closing arguments. What was the turnout like today?
Another packed courtroom, Christine. You know, throughout this entire trial, there's been great public interest. They have at least 4 rows reserved for the public, and there are many others lined up in the hallway waiting for a chance to get a seat inside the courtroom.
Everyone waiting anxiously for this verdict, Alice. Thank you. To see all of Alice's reporting on the Penny trial, just scan the QR code there on your screen.